Hey guys, in this video, we're going to talk about my first startup failure. This is Eddie from Our Studio Works. On this channel, we talk about the do's and don'ts of an indie software developer. So this was back in 2010. I just arrived to the US and started my studies at the University of Central Oklahoma. Started with summer classes, and this is where I met my three best friends, who are still my best friends up till now. We all had that dream to build a startup company, but none of us had any experience in coding yet. And we all started coding in our Programming 1 class. This is the first ever programming class we had. I had some experience with designing software like Photoshop, Illustrator. I did some HTML and some PHP, but that was about it. We all had our own ideas on what to build. Like I was really interested into clubbing and tech music and EDM and stuff like that. I believe the first thing we tried was a dating application. We got some open source software somewhere off the internet and we launched it. After a couple of days, we decided to give up on it. The code wasn't all that great and things were not really working as they should. And the website itself didn't really look very attractive. Since we were meeting almost every day for the summer classes, we had a lot of ideas we wanted to try out. And we finally decided to go with organic food. So basically what the app would do is try to connect farmers with customers. So this was just an idea that came up while sitting and having lunch or something. And we decided to try it out. Like there was no market research done. Nobody knew much about organic food at all. We didn't know anything about the market itself. We didn't even know where the farmers' markets were. So we had to go find everything out. So as PHP noobs, we just started coding and hacking. Like we didn't have any frameworks in mind. We just knew very little about PHP and HTML, and we just started coding. We decided to go with a web application because none of us knew how to make a mobile application. And that was like the beginnings of Android and iOS applications. So after 6 or 7 months of trying things, of hacking and just piecing code together, we came up with a solution. And we were very proud of it because that was the first time we had something working and on the internet. So basically what we would need to do for the application is enroll farmers onto it and then get the end users to order their produce from the farmers directly. So our plan was to go to farmers markets and try to recruit farmers from there. So we would just like hang around in the farmers markets, talk to the farmers and try to get them enrolled on the application. At least that was the plan. But after a few months, the friend who gave the idea to make an organic application decided to quit because he was going through a rough patch in his life. So that led the three of us remaining not really knowing what to do next. We had a list of farmers markets, so we decided to keep going at it. So I made all the flyers to give to the farmers or to the end users. And we took those to the farmers market for a few weeks and tried to distribute it around and see what the response was. We had a few people interested. They gave us their contacts. We kind of manually enrolled them onto the platform, but the heart wasn't there anymore. We were not very passionate about the project anymore. So after some time of trying really hard to make it work, we all decided to quit the project, which was very sad because we worked really hard to have that product in hand, have something working, and then it was just kind of like we were not passionate about it enough to keep going. I think the thing that failed us most in that project was that we were not really passionate about the subject matter itself. We wanted to help out the farmers to sell their products. We wanted to help out people to eat healthy. But ourselves, we were not eating organic food. Like, remember, we were in college. Most of the time we were eating ramen or burgers or pizza. None of us knew how to cook any food. So I guess we were not really in that demographics of people looking for organic food. The second thing that I believe failed this project is we didn't do any market research before starting to code. Like we didn't know if there was really a market for this application. Like we didn't know any of the users. We didn't know what they wanted. We didn't even know if we had access to computers to put in the product details for the consumers. After this project, we still remained good friends up till now. We don't talk as often as we would like to because each one of us have their different lives now, but we still meet up sometimes. I actually have an ongoing project with one of the friends. Hopefully this will be more successful. So what are the takeaways from this failed project? Number one, I would say research the market first. Know if there is a product fit. Know if there are users for the application. It's really not worth it to put in all the effort to build an app and then find out there is nobody to use the application. Second point would be passionate about the field you're about to get into. Because when it gets rough, you want to make sure you're passionate enough to keep on going. If you're not passionate about the product, at any hurdle, you'll be tempted to give up very easily. Third takeaway would be keep your team as small as possible. Because with all the ideas and all the different opinions and all the different preferences, it is difficult for somebody to make the right decision. It's very difficult to manage everybody's expectations on the project. Also, not everybody is as passionate as you are about your project. Some will be more passionate than you and some will be less. And this will sometimes cause conflicts between good friends. Another point would be bootstrap as much as possible. Don't try to get the perfect product out before you launch. Just have an MVP. Just have something that works and bring it out to the market. It doesn't have to be all polished for people to start using it. Remember, the early adopters will give you the best feedback. It is also very encouraging to see early adopters get on the project and start using the app. When this happens, it gives you more drive to keep on going with the project. You'll be encouraged when people are using it, and that will keep you going. Well, I hope you found some useful information from my first startup failure, and you can use those in your startup to make yours a success. If you found this video useful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to get future videos. I'll see you in the next one.